Ancient Mesopotamia is often considered the cradle of civilization. But beyond its monumental ziggurats and the Code of Hammurabi, it was also one of the world's first great linguistic crossroads. Now, when we think of ancient Mesopotamia, we tend to imagine a monolingual society speaking Sumerian or Akkadian. But that's far from the truth. In fact, multilingualism was deeply embedded in everyday life, administration, and even religion. Let's begin with Sumerian, the earliest known written language, which emerged in southern Mesopotamia around 3100 BCE. It was a language isolate, meaning it had no known relatives. And for centuries, it was the dominant language of urban life, ritual, and learning. But then came the Akkadians, speakers of a Semitic language, who gradually rose to power in the north. By the time of the Akkadian Empire, around the 24th century BCE, bilingualism became the norm among scribes and elites. Sumerian remained the sacred and scholarly language, much like Latin in medieval Europe, while Akkadian, particularly in its Babylonian and Assyrian dialects, became the spoken lingua franca of daily life and governance. Administrative records from the period often include bilingual texts. For example, lexical lists, essentially ancient dictionaries, were produced to help scribes learn both Sumerian and Akkadian. These weren't just academic exercises, they were necessary tools for managing complex bureaucracies in multicultural cities. And it wasn't just Sumerian and Akkadian. As trade and empire expanded, Mesopotamia absorbed influences from all directions. Elamite to the east, Hurrian in the north, and Amorite from the west. Each group brought its own language, and the cities of Mesopotamia, Ur, Nippur, Nineveh, became vibrant hubs of multilingual interaction. This linguistic mosaic was not without challenges. Interpretation was critical, especially in diplomacy. The Amarna letters, for instance, diplomatic correspondence from the 14th century BCE, were written in Akkadian, even by non-native speakers in Egypt and Anatolia. It shows us that Akkadian functioned as an international language, much like English does today. So when we think about ancient Mesopotamia, we must remember that it was not a silent world of clay tablets and ruined temples. It was filled with voices, many voices, in multiple languages. And understanding this multilingual dynamic is key to understanding how such a complex and enduring civilization functioned.